Well, hello there, Mama. Are you a working mom and do you struggle with balancing your work and being a mom and the other tasks, to dos, projects, goals, fun stuff, and everything else you want and need to do in your life? The reason why I know you struggle with this is because you constantly tell me, and I did a little research and found out that the top ranking search queries on Google and YouTube in the mom category was about being a working mom and how to find life balance. So today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to balance all the things in your life while being a kick-ass working mom. Hey mamas, I'm Sara Muender and this is the Mama Miracle Morning Show where each week I'll bring you a topic that's going to inspire you to live a better life. Because I believe that mamas have this unique gift, that love and strength that we have for our kids, we can tap into to drive everything and anything we want in our life. You would do anything for your kids, and now I want you to take advantage of that non-negotiable commitment that you have for them and commit to reaching your goals, creating the life you want, and becoming the woman that you were born to be. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Mama Miracle Morning Show. I'm currently in a hotel room in Irvine, California for a very exciting conference. Welcome to my real fancy studio this week. I'm so blessed to have this time to myself to work on and grow my business, and of course, I'm missing my family like crazy at the same time. So I thought it would be the perfect time to do an episode about working moms. Thanks for coming back and thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time, I want to give a shout out to another dear listener, Fiona from Scotland, who sent me a DM on Instagram and said, "Good morning. I just wanted to say I found your podcast and I love it so much. It's 5 a.m. where I am, and I've recently been getting up at 5 to self-develop before the busy day starts, and your show really fires me up. I'd love to write a review, but I don't think I can do an iTunes review on Samsung. I'll investigate though." Seriously, big shout out to you, Fiona, for this lovely message on Instagram and for getting up early, too. I love how she said she gets up early to self-develop. Fiona, you are my people. I am so happy to hear you're making yourself a priority because you know that you're a valuable person that needs to be nurtured and cared for. Now, to answer your question about leaving a review on iTunes from a Samsung, I don't think you can do that from your phone. But what I understand is that you can use iTunes on a Mac or a PC. So if you have any old computer at home, you can download iTunes and leave a review right there. Honestly, since iTunes is the biggest podcast platform, it is the one that really matters when it comes to getting reviews and ratings in terms of how well the podcast does. But honestly, hearing from you guys in any way on any platform is incredible. And I love all the messages and comments I've been getting from you mamas on Instagram and through email. Hey, if there's ever a question you have or you just want to connect with me or send me an email or send me some love, you can, or maybe you have an idea for a podcast episode you want to shoot my way, send an email to sarah@saramunder.com. I seriously love hearing from you. I love connecting with you and I love being inspired by you. Now this week, I'm again trying out doing the podcast as both an audio and video, and of course as a blog post on my website, themamamiracle.com, so you can see the show on YouTube, hear it on iTunes and other podcast platforms, read the transcript on my blog at themamamiracle.com. You guys, you can't get away from me. I'm on all of them. Today, I want to give you 5 tips for balancing work, being a mom, accomplishing your tasks, and doing everything you want to do in your life. Now, some people don't like the word balance for whatever reason. I personally don't really think there's a better word for it, but if you're just one of those people who are like, can we just use a different word? Then fine. How about 5 tips for successfully integrating working, being a mom, accomplishing your tasks, and doing everything you want to do in your life? And by the way, you're going to get something from this episode even if you're not a working mom, because chances are you might be going back to school. You might be creating a side hustle. You might be having a blog. You might be wanting to become a social media influencer. You might have an MLM that you're working on. Or maybe you just have a hobby that you're really passionate about and you want to find time to work on it, and you find that it's been hard to find time to work on it since becoming a mom. The tips that I'm going to give you in this episode are going to help you whether you have a traditional job, you're an entrepreneur, or you've just got something other than baby going on. Now, let's talk about why this topic is one of the top ranking search queries from mamas trying to figure out how to fit everything in their life without dying, why we feel so overwhelmed, why we feel so scattered, so torn between the things we want and need to do in our life. We want to spend as much possible time with our children because the time is going to fly by, and before we know it, they're not going to be little anymore. And then on the other hand, when we're in the thick of it, in the middle of the day, when shit has just hit the fan, like maybe literally shit from your baby has hit the ceiling fan. Hey, I know it's happened to someone. And our child is throwing tantrums. Nothing's going as planned for the day. We're exhausted. The house is a wreck. We have a list of things to get to, and we look forward to the alternative, right? Going to work, going to the gym by ourselves, taking those breaks. And then we get there, like me here today at my conference this weekend, and we miss our kids, or we feel guilty for being away from them. Okay, I truly, truly believe that the reason why we find ourselves in this cycle of overwhelm, despair, and guilt is because we fail to take charge of our lives. All right, now wait, hold on, don't leave yet. I'm not blaming you, and I'm not putting any kind of mom shame on you, even though it could be interpreted as that at first. I just know that when I've been in this situation in the past, it was because I didn't intentionally take charge of my life. I didn't intentionally make use of my time. I didn't take the time to get my mind right before the day started and figure out what was really important and necessary. I didn't schedule my time and use a planner to time block and figure out exactly and what realistically I could expect the day to be and how it would go. And without intention, without a plan, life as a mom is going to go haywire. Am I right? And this is not our fault. This is just the nature of life, especially as a mom. Have you ever heard of chaos theory? Chaos theory is this idea that within a system, like the universe expanding, weather and climate, traffic, small changes become or create massive exponential, just chaos. The butterfly effect is an example of chaos theory. Do you guys remember that movie, The Butterfly Effect? Great movie if you haven't seen it. Basically, the thing you can imagine is that the grand scale effects that simply a butterfly flapping its wings can have is huge. It's the opposite of a system where things are orderly and predictable. There's just no predictability, no order. It's just chaos. And I don't think there's a better way to relate this to our lives than to think of our lives as moms as chaos theory. When we aren't intentional with our time and with our lives, and we don't have a plan of how we're going to show up as a great mom while also working on our personal development and all of these other endeavors, chaos theory just takes over and life just goes on, and things and everyone saps up our time. And then it's no wonder we're exhausted and unfulfilled and unsatisfied at the end of the day. We can't think straight. We can't focus because we just don't know what to focus on. So this is why my number one tip for you in this episode for balancing all the things in your life, including work, school, mom duties, personal development, hobbies, chores, to-dos, hobbies, quality time. I said hobbies twice. All the things. It's about using a planner. And it sounds simple, right? Like, how could this be so simple? They've been making planners since the beginning of Office Depot. And now they've got all the pretty planners at Ross and Target and Marshalls and Home Goods and all these places. So if they've always been available to us, how could they possibly solve this big problem, this big work-life balance problem, right? And I know this tip isn't the sexiest and it's not the most profound, but sometimes it's about going back to basics. And I know a lot of you aren't using a planner regularly, or if you are, you just aren't using it to the fullest advantage of what it could help you accomplish in your life. I know you're not because you tell me you're not, and up until recently, I wasn't either. If you've listened to my previous episodes, I'm sure you've heard me mention by now that I'm creating a planner makeover course. It's an online mini course for moms where I'm going to walk you through step by step how to go from total overwhelm and chaos to living the life of your dreams, because you're actually creating time blocks to schedule in those things that are going to create that for you. It's not complicated. And honestly, I never thought that I'd be creating a course on the subject, but the thing is, we forget. We forget how important the simple things are. We forget how important it is to simply decide what we need and want to do and write it down and schedule it in and just do it. And the more that I study and research this topic and the more that I'm practicing the habits and strategies I'm going to teach you in the course, the more I'm realizing and proving that 90% of our success in life can be determined by how we use a planner. And it's going to be super affordable and convenient, you guys. I'm pricing it so that literally like anyone can take this course and you can do it right from your phone anytime and have lifetime access to it. So to go get your name on the interest list, go to themamamiracle.com. Number 2 tip for balancing all the things as a mom, establish your non-negotiables. In the upcoming Planner Makeover course, I teach you how to identify and work your non-negotiables into your life. But I'll share this tip with you because I think it's so helpful for taking some of the decision making off of you and relieving you of how much energy it actually takes to think, oh, am I going to do this today or not? Oh, I know it's important, but I just don't know when. You determine the things that ideally you'd like to create habits out of. You determine that they're non-negotiable in your life, and then you use these to guide all the other things that come up. So for example, if having pizza and movie night every Friday night with your family is a non-negotiable, then that's what you do. And you can easily say no to all the other things that are going to come up throughout the week to try to steal your Friday night. Number 3, focus on one thing at a time. And this tip is about being more present and mindful. It's a practice. Oh, believe me, mama, I know. I know we can't always focus on one thing at a time when we're doing things while our kids are with us because they're like about to go jump off the dresser and kill themselves while you're trying to get something done and they're bored and they want a snack like 86 times a day. But for the bigger things in your life that you find it hard to juggle and manage, I want you to time block. And then I want you to be in that time block, like fully be in that time block and give it your all and give it your full attention as much as possible while you're there. Like, for example, when you're at work, be at work and don't worry about everything else you need to do. I know it's easier said than done, but it's a practice. Throw yourself in 100%, and you can rest assured that everything else will have a time and place because, again, this goes back to the last tip, you scheduled it in. And when you're with your kids, just be with them. If everyone's in a bad mood, change things up. Go outside, put them in water, have some fun in the shower. For some reason, these two things, going outside and doing some kind of water play, always changes the mood for my kids. Or get on the floor and play with your kids, like literally play with them. Number 4, prepare ahead of time and set yourself up for success. Now, I don't do a whole lot of parenting tips on this episode, and so for this, you're really going to have to go outside the podcast and find parenting strategies that will help make your job a little bit easier. But just for example, I'll just give you a little tip that I got from my girls' preschool. They have a container of water with a spout and with these little cups next to it, and they have this bowl of rice with some fruit as a snack that they set out for the kids to help themselves anytime the kids want a snack or water while they're at school. And then, of course, it takes training to practice and establish good habits with these, but it's one of those things that you can do to empower your kids, if they're old enough, of course, to help themselves. We do this at home, and it's really light in the load for me, and so I'm not getting the girls' water like literally 86 times a day. And finally, number 5, make a list of the top 5 or so things that are important to you in your life right now and rate them on how they're going. Sometimes when we just shine a light on something that's giving us anxiety, it becomes so much less big and scary and overwhelming to us in our life. Sometimes when we just identify it, we're able to get a better grasp on exactly why we're feeling off balance and where we want to end up. Name it to tame it, baby. So those 5 tips for this episode of how to balance all the things in life as a working mom or simply a busy mom are: number 1, using a planner. And may I add in there, taking Sarah's planner makeover course, where she is going to show you how to completely rework your planner to take charge of your life. Number 2, establish your non-negotiables. Number 3, focus on one thing at a time. Number 4, plan ahead to find ways to make parenting a little easier. And number 5, make that list of the top things that are important to you and rate them. Again, to get on the interest list for my upcoming planner makeover course, head on over to themamamiracle.com where you can get on the list, and I will let you know as soon as class is in session. And always, I try to say, thanks for investing in yourself. I appreciate your personal growth journey because you're doing the work on yourself, and at the same time, you're helping to make the world a better place with better people for all of us to live in. Now go out there, take charge of your day. You beautiful, powerful, and incredible mama. Thanks for listening. I love you and I appreciate you. Hey mamas, one quick thing before you go. I have a tool for you called the Mama Miracle Manifestation Worksheet, which up until this point I have charged for, but for a limited time, I've made it completely free. It's a 3-page worksheet that's designed to help you get your mind right, help you claim your power, identify what you're grateful for, identify where you want to create that change in your life, and more. So to get your free copy, head on over to themamamiracle.com, and a light box is going to pop up where you can put your name right on the list to request your copy to be sent to your email immediately. This tool has been one of my best sellers, so go get your copy for free while you can. Also, don't forget to put your name on the interest list for my upcoming planner makeover mini course, where I'll show you how to take charge of your life with the use of a planner. You can do that at themamamiracle.com, and I'll let you know as soon as class will begin. Lots of love, mamas. See you next week.